Michael Bisping and Paul Felder fall in line with the consensus among fans on social media regarding their vision of the outcome in this weekend's lightweight title clash between Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria. An overwhelming majority of predictions on different platforms by MMA enthusiasts have Topuria defeating Charles, and many see it as a brutal knockout finish. Bookmakers seem to agree as well, with the betting lines on these two so wide apart. Oliveira hasn't been such a big underdog for many years, and it's an interesting phenomenon. Fans' excitement about Topuria's future as the new potential superstar, with him being undefeated in the company so far, coming off back-to-back knockout wins over Volkanovski and Holloway, play an important role here. And though Charles had a good performance in his last outing against Chandler, the Makhachev loss and the Tsarukyan split decision loss affect the recency bias, even if he is the most decorated finisher in UFC history. Felder and Bisping are also convinced that Topuria will become the lightweight champion on Saturday.
I'd be really confident putting a good amount of money on Ilia Topuria. Yes, Charles has the ability to finish. Yes, he's reckless. Yes, he's dangerous. Yeah, he's got the subs and he can hit hard and all that stuff. And he's got the experience and he's a former champion. But he has lost a few lately. He has lost a lot at 145. He has taken some damage. He is reckless, which makes him dangerous and exciting, but also he's a bad matchup when you look at Ilia. Ilia doesn't take chances. He's very calculated. He lines things up. He sets things up. He cuts off the cage. He waits. He flinches and feints, throws a lot of misdirection. And then when he goes, he has the knockout power. He has the wrestling to stop the takedowns. On the ground, he's got more submissions than what he does knockouts on his own record. So I think he can handle himself down there. So I think it's a pretty safe bet to say Ilia Topuria will be the lightweight champion of the world come Saturday night.
Yeah, I am 100%, unfortunately, for the sake of the show, in agreement with that.
Aljamain Sterling tries to lure Sean O'Malley into moving to the featherweight division as the former bantamweight champion ponders his next career step. After suffering a devastating loss to Merab in their rematch, which put him on a 2-fight losing streak, question of what's next at bantamweight, if there even is a future there, became naturally most important one as it relates to his overall stock and star power. After all, that's the division that made him one of the biggest names in the sport. Changing weight classes is not an easy task, and there's a reason why fighters who successfully do so and conquer a second division rarely exist. There's a multitude of downsides that would come with that decision for Sean, like giving up the significant height advantage over most bantamweights and having to fight physically more powerful guys, but at least it's only a 10-pound jump, and given how much the loss to Merab set him back at bantamweight, a fresh start might look pretty appealing. Sterling encourages him to move up, but warns him of the dangers.
I think Sean would do really well at 145. And I'm not saying that because I would love to run it back, because that's obvious. I think his speed, his length would translate really well. He will be able to actually lift a little bit more to get stronger. The only thing is there are some dogs at 145 that if they grab a hold of him and they can already know how to grapple. I think more grapple heavy guys that he will have to deal with, like a Mosar, or myself, a Chepe, Steve Garcia, when he takes you down, he gets on top position. Lerone Murphy's not much of a grappler. I know Bryce is going down. Obviously Ilia, but he's now up at 55. But I think there's a little bit more depth with guys that can grapple. Even Yusuf is not a bad grappler. The David Onama guy, when he gets to top position. So it really just depends on what he wants to do. I do think he would have success. Would it be as much success as he does at 35? I don't know. It's hard to say because those guys are obviously smaller than him.
Ray Longo reveals a chaotic moment that took place in the aftermath of Roundtree versus Hill following the US strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, the light heavyweight headliner in Baku last weekend, which marked the first time UFC visited Azerbaijan, was going as planned and everyone involved in the card had a smooth fight week. That changed when UFC staff started making emergency calls to fighters, coaches, and commentators with US citizenship to get ready as quickly as possible, to get out of the country. This, of course, was a result of a travel advisory sent by the State Department following the development in Iran. But not only did the UFC seem to handle the situation with a degree of panic, fighters and coaches had no idea what exactly was going on and thought they were in danger just because they're American among predominantly Muslim population, even if it's a different country with no ties to Iran. Longo revealed how first he and Bruce Buffer were being mobbed by fans and signing autographs and soon thinking they were running for their lives to leave the country. Jamahal Hill didn't even take some of his luggage with him to the airport.
Baku was absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful city, beautiful people. And Rubenstein's at the table and he goes, "It's a level 2. We got to start. I got to get Wood out of here, man." What the fuck's a level 2? He goes, "No, they're changing everybody's flights. We got, dude, it's just unsettling." So I was having a good time. And I can't even eat my food. I'm thinking, man, I'm not even getting out. I just pick up my phone. I see Trump bombed Iran. I'm like, this is bullshit, man. This guy couldn't wait 2 fucking weeks. I'm saying to myself, let me just get this damn poll, man. Let me just get, I just want to make sure they don't cancel flights, that type of shit. And I run into Jamahal Hill. He tells me he left some of his bags in the room because they told him you got to get out of there. So I don't know, again, you got to coordinate. And he's got a 12-hour, I don't even know, he just got out of there. But we're talking and he's got his hat over his head. He doesn't want anybody to notice him. Because now, when I'm leaving, the Americans, I don't think they'll look upon it. You're worried about, can something happen? I'm fucking starting to panic. I go, I want to see my kids again. I just want to see them.
Did you see Buffer at all? I bet he was.
What was that?
Buff at all?
Buff, I don't think left the hotel. Buff was getting mobbed. The fans were outstanding, but you had 14-year-old kids jumping on the car when we're leaving.
Alex Volkanovski shares how he feels about the future of his career, potentially retiring not too far out. While reclaiming a title isn't as satisfying as it could have been if done against the fighter who took it away from you in the first place, becoming a 2-time featherweight champion meant a lot for Volk, especially in the last stages of his career. To be able to come back from a devastating knockout loss and get the belt back against another dangerous striker was an impressive feat. And if Topuria doesn't go back down to featherweight if he gets beat by Oliveira, there are no interesting contenders for Volk to fight at 145 at the moment. It now seems likely that he will defend his title against Rodriguez, something not many fans are excited about. At least the winner of Evloev versus Pico can offer some intrigue, but that's some time away. Volk thinks it's still too early to make specific retirement plans, but realizes it's getting closer.
I'll be lying to myself if I say I'm going to fight for another 10 years. It's obviously we know that it's not too far away. But for me, it's I'm set. It's not like I need to. I'm in a great position, and I'm blessed to be in this position. But at the same time, as I said earlier, there ain't. I still know I got some fight left in me, and then the fact that I won't capitalize on that. If I start to, if I start to see things, obviously you've got to look after the head, the brain and all that type of stuff. If you start seeing some things significantly changing, or not even slightly changing, you're probably all right. Let's not, let's make sure we can look after our kids and, string some words together. You know what I mean? So I'm obviously going to be wary of that. But at the same time, I'm in a position where I can still make some good money and I still feel like I can be at the top.